What's up, guys? This is Genetic Minority bringing you Monday Night Raw review for the night of February 16th, 2015. Doing it solo tonight, so just sit back and enjoy. You're gonna try to keep it short, sweet, to the point. Monday Night Raw opens up with John Cena, and I don't care because he's immediately smiling and pandering and making jokes, but he does manage to, within that, cut a little promo about Rusev and how he's gonna beat Rusev and blah blah blah. You know, the basic, Cena shtick. He comes out, panders to the crowd, and then tries to get serious for like 10 seconds, but it doesn't matter because he didn't come out serious, unlike Rusev, which he is followed by Rusev, and Lana cuts some kind of promo. I wasn't really listening, quite honestly. Like, it's just the same thing all the time. It was the same thing from last week, basically. And then sorry about last week and not having a review. It just, Raw is just, yeah, it's just bleh. So, last week was kind of boring anyway, and I was sick, so, and Chase had class, so I just called it a night on that one. But, so yeah, Rusev comes out, and Lana and Rusev try to shut Cena down, and, basically say that, Cena's not gonna win, blah, 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 blah. Then Cena proceeds to become a bully, because he just beats up Rusev, and when the refs come to stop him, he just tells them to get away and not to stop him. And then they do it.
Why?
It doesn't make any sense, and it bothers me because, okay, so not only does he just be like, ramp brawl with Rusev, not Rusev, yeah, with Rusev. Sorry, I'm looking at the screen as I'm speaking. He has the brawl with Rusev on the ramp, and yes, last week Rusev threw him into the Titantron and banged up his eye. Which is whatever. Rusev is the heel. That's something that a heel would do psychologically because that's just how heels roll. But for some odd reason, Cena comes up the ramp, beats down Rusev. You would think, okay, maybe hits him with an attitude adjustment at the top, and then stands up and does that weird three-finger thing that he does. But no, he proceeds to bash Rusev's head into the Titantron multiple times. Like, Rusev only hit him the one time, and then the refs came and stopped him. And even Rusev last week, as a heel, didn't stop the refs from stop. Like, he didn't put the accolade. He was going to go put Cena in the accolade, and then the refs came out. He just left. But Cena this week beats Rusev up, beats him, knocks him down. Refs come to stop him. He just calls them off and then proceeds to bludgeon Rusev by bashing his head into the Titantron multiple times and then beating him on the head. And then he throws the fingers up and holds the U.S. title up in the air like he didn't just do that. Here's the thing, WWE, and this is my problem with you guys, is like, you can't do that. You can't have Rusev be a heel, do something heel, have Cena do something twice as heelish, not even technically 3 times, because he bashed that 3 times as opposed to the 1 time Rusev did it to him, and then expect Cena to still be the face. He's not the face anymore. He can't be a good guy in this. He just bullied Rusev. But that logic is like basically saying, in order to stop a bully from bullying you, you bully him back. No, you may beat that bully up, but you never take it any farther than he's taken it. So maybe he bashes his head once in order to signify that he is going to keep up with Rusev. Mind you, Cena during the promo was saying how he needed to attack Rusev head on. Like, nobody who has faced Rusev so far has attacked him head on and actually took the fight to him. He said, take the fight to him. Apparently no one else has taken the fight to Rusev. Nope, nobody. Not a single soul has taken the fight directly to Rusev. Except for every single last person who's taken the fight directly to them, because he usually just comes out there, says how America sucks, and then somebody comes out and fights him. And even this one, he came out, interrupted Cena's promo, and Cena got mad. So it's just like, he's not taking the fight to Rusev. Rusev kind of just instigated the fight, and now, like, it's weird. He caused the fight. He didn't have to fight with Rusev at all. So he's not really, like, him taking this fight does not make him any different than anyone else. And even on the flip side of it, Rusev instigated it this time. So really, Rusev's taking the fight to him. He's just being a sucker and falling in for it. And this is why stuff with Cena is so dumb. Because it doesn't make any sense. He comes out, he bullies Rusev. Rusev beat him up. But he bullies Rusev by over beating him up. This would not be bullying if he didn't call the refs off. Last week, if Rusev had just still beat up Cena, and like the refs were, you know how normal heels do. The refs are afraid of the heel, and he's gonna hurt. Oh no, we don't know what to do. That would have been fine, but that wasn't enough. He leaves. Last week you all saw he just left. He got up and left. He beat Cena up and he left, and that was it. This week Cena beats him up. Refs go to call him off. Oh no, I'm John Cena. I can just beat up whoever I want because John Cena says that he's gonna, come at Rusev and bring the fight to him, and he's not gonna be deterred, and he's not just some old man, and blah 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 blah. That does not. I don't care if you want to use hashtag WWE logic. It literally makes no sense whatsoever. But you know what? WWE's going to do their own thing. Let them keep doing that. We all know Cena's probably going to lose well, he's not going to lose. He's going to lose. Actually, that's a lie. He'll probably lose by DQ. He will probably be so aggressive with Rusev, trying to prove that he can keep up with Rusev. He'll lose by DQ, and that'll be like, that's Vince McMahon's Are You Not Sports Entertained? See, Cena lost a match by making Rusev look really weak, and then he'll win the title at Mania, because, see, now he's got another mid-card title. You can't just say he only won the world title all the time, because now, you can't say that the United States title doesn't matter, because Cena has it now, and it totally matters, because Cena matters, because that's supposed to fucking make it better, is that Cena is holding the title, so apparently now it matters, and that makes the world a better place for children to be brought up, and blah, 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 and he can sell all the Fruity Pebbles that he wants, and blah, 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 blah. That literally does not make a single bit of sense. But whatever. WWE logic. So next up on Monday Night Raw, we get, after I'm done ranting about Cena being stupid, I'm lapsing in memory. Oh, we get the Idiot Fringe, Dean Ambrose versus Luke Harper, and the Idiot Fringe won. That's it. Not important. Him getting wins and beating former Intercontinental champions apparently is a thing now. He had a little segment backstage where he was like, he's going to beat a former Intercontinental champion and Curtis Axel. Apparently that matters now. And he's going to beat another former one, Luke Harper, which is the match he had, and he won. So they don't know what to do with Curtis Axel. Okay. They don't know what to do with Luke Harper. He was the guy in the Wyatt family that got the first single title, and they don't know what to do with him? Are you fucking kidding me? Not gonna happen at all. You telling me you don't know what to do with this guy, a former Intercontinental champion? Well, you just gotta face the Idiot Fringe. They've never fully finished that whole Erick Rowen versus Luke Harper feud. I don't really want them to, but if you're gonna do anything that makes some kind of goddamn sense, maybe, just maybe, stick him in a feud with someone that you know he's got beef with. I mean, you could even stick him up against Bray Wyatt for a little while. I mean, you could say that Bray tried to brainwash him, but he's his own man now, blah, blah, blah. Like, there are so many things. I'm literally sitting here coming up with ideas off the top of my head, and they're still better than what WWE is doing. Whatever. The Idiot Fringe won, and is still an idiot because he believes that by beating former champions but still spending so many months not winning any matches, like now because he beat two former champions in a row, I think he beat Dolph Ziggler at some point, I don't remember, that makes him like number one contender material now, even though the former Intercontinental champion Dolph Ziggler, fuck him. Yeah, who? Yeah, he just only lost it. When did he ever get his rematch? I don't remember. Even Luke Harper is more close to being in line for an Intercontinental title match than Dean Ambrose is. But whatever. WWE logic. The Idiot Fringe. Whatevs. Then, after that, we get a backstage segment. There were a couple backstage segments, but none of them matter. The more important one, or at least the one that interests me the most, it's the Dust Bros, Cody and, Stardust, because he doesn't want to be called Cody anymore. and Goldust, the Dust Bros, and they're Dusty, or sorry, Dustin, which is Goldust, is telling Cody, basically tell him don't get consumed by the character. It's not you. You're still Cody, blah, blah, blah. Which, I mean, I'm saying blah, 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 blah because that's just the gist of what he's saying, not because I don't care. And then we get that followed up with Dusty Rhodes backstage, and the crowd gave him a nice little pop. This thing makes me, I wish WWE would have capitalized this beforehand, but like I said, I want to say 2 weeks ago, back when this first started. Yeah, 2 weeks ago, back when this first started, that this could work with Cody being consumed by the Stardust character, and that's what they're building towards, and that's what this backstage segment was about. Dusty tells him that all the face paint, all the stars and celestial bodies, everything you worship means nothing without family, and that no matter what, that Dusty loves Cody, and that they are family and they need to stick together. That was just basically the precursor to what was the Dust Bros versus the Racist Bros, i.e. the New Day. The New Day is the least favorite tag team and trio, whatever. My least favorite faction in WWE. Just the New Day, aka I call them the Racist Bros. Just for future reference, I will almost never call them the New Day. I will call them the Racist Bros, especially in matches where they're going up against the Dust Bros. It's just a bunch of black dudes hanging out, church stuff, racism. Vince McMahon is a racist. So the Racist Bros managed to, and I totally missed it. I literally turned my head for like 10 seconds to check my phone, and all of a sudden, not only did the Racist Bros win, they beat Goldust down, apparently, to the point, I don't know, I think he ate like a mean Trouble in Paradise, if memory serves. I looked back at it briefly, and he's just KO'd, and the Racist Bros win, and Cody gets in the ring. He's helping Dusty up. Dustin, Goldust. It's really hard when Dusty and Dusty Rhodes get together. It just gets really confusing. He helps Goldust up. Goldust is still all beat down, knocked out, selling this, I guess, Trouble in Paradise, or whatever move he was hit with that knocked him out. And, he gets up, but he falls back down to the ground. And eventually, Cody gets him up again, and, he's standing, and he pats him, he hugs him, and he sends him to walk forward ahead of him. And he's like, as soon as he turns his back on him for like 10 seconds, traps him, puts him in, freaking crossroads, plants him. Next, we get a backstage segment, and this is, sorry, what's going on my screen is really stupid right now. There was the Bellas, and of course, this thing is really dumb. I'm sorry, everybody, I'm blathering on because what's happening on my screen right now is really dumb, and I'm going to talk about it in a minute. We get backstage segment. It's Stardust, who no longer wants to be Cody Rhodes. Stardust is pacing around backstage and being angry and crazy, and Dusty Rhodes comes up and confronts him about it. And he's like, oh, hey, what's up? And what's the deal? Why'd you attack? That's your brother, Cody. What's up? And he's like, oh, he gets mad. He's like, don't call me. I'm not Cody. I'm Stardust. And God, what's going on my screen right now is so dumb. When I talk about it in a minute, you guys are gonna be like, oh yeah, that was really dumb. He tells him, he's like, Cody living under, having a polka dotted wearing freak for a dad and a failure of a freak for a brother made Cody much like a celestial body, which is a beautiful disaster. Cody eventually exploded, and that not only is Cody dead, so is Dusty as his father, as far as he's concerned. Now, once again, this is a thing that WWE could actually build upon. Now, flow with me, guys, for a minute, alright? Because I'm going to start spitting some, future, next level BS, right? If you keep building on this, Cody is being consumed by Stardust. He can eventually become Cody again once he, in theory, once he beats Goldust and possibly even beats his own father, he could break from Stardust and go back to being Cody and establish himself basically as the dominant Rhodes. That he is being both the Rhodes family members that mattered and that he had to live under the shadow of because he beat them so definitively. And he could even go so far as to like beat Goldust and injure him, like end his career, and then you can have him, wipe and beat his dad up, and then wipe the face paint off, and be all consumed with this rage of having to. He's a third generation superstar, or sorry, second generation, I believe. Don't quote me on that. I never remember how many generations people are. I sometimes forget that Natty Neidhart's third generation, so I'm crazy. Sorry. So you could have him be just like a psychopath like he was back when he first did the whole like, I'm ugly now because I got my face broken, crazy Cody Rhodes. You can even have it like he's so broken, so psychologically battered that he sometimes comes out with the face paint, but in his old ring attire, or sometimes it comes out in the ring attire, no face paint. Sometimes it comes out with the Stardust ring attire and a face mask on, like he did when he had his nose broken. And you can really build like this psychological tear of Cody not knowing who he is. Is he Stardust? Is he Cody Rhodes? And you could build on this, and if you could, if at all possible, give him one single legitimate title run where he is, he's a heel the whole time, but he's just insane, and he's losing. Or you can give him a mid-card title where he's just insane. He was poised to be a world champ if they still had the world heavyweight. This would be the perfect example where the world heavyweight title would be really useful, but they don't have it anymore, so whatever. But if they did still have two separate titles, he could have the world heavyweight title. He could just be this broken, distraught, psycho world heavyweight champion. You can give him like a legitimate 6-month run of him being just torn up and like crazy and just bloodthirsty, like crazy bloodthirsty Cody Rhodes, who is just intent on proving why he's the best Rhodes, would be a really good story arc. But we'll see what WWE does and how they handle it. But other than that, it's a good setup. I'm curious to see what they're going to do, at least with the Dust Bros. Next, we get Roman Reigns versus Kane with Daniel Bryan on the commentary table. Reigns wins by countout, and he has a stare-off with the Bride. The most important part of this match was that Daniel Bryan managed to get the crowd into doing yes chants and to booing Roman Reigns, and that apparently is getting into Roman Reigns' head. Don't know. Don't care. Not really. I mean, I care because I like the two guys in the match, and it's a pretty decent build feud, but it sucks because they're really building Roman Reigns as Roman Reigns is gonna become is being built like a heel for this one match, but then he has to turn around and be a face to go up against Brock Lesnar. That's Brock Lesnar for anyone who doesn't know. So he's got to be a heel while facing Daniel Bryan, but then has to immediately switch gears to become a face in order to beat Brock. That would be fine, not really, but that would be okay if it wasn't for the fact that Paul Heyman and Brock Lesnar are hardly ever around. So you can't build if Brock was there being like a dirty heel, like, okay, people are booing Roman Reigns, but like Brock Lesnar, you find out he's been punching babies in the crowd, you'd be like, oh, I mean, I hate him versus Daniel Bryan, but I mean, really, I just want someone to the point should be that they should be building someone to just beat Brock Lesnar, not that Roman Reigns is like this controversial Batista deal with it heel now all of a sudden, and it's just like, it doesn't make any sense. But we'll see what happens. But the most important thing is that, we get a backstage segment with Daniel Bryan asking whether or not getting the yes chance going was something to get in Roman Reigns' head, and Daniel Bryan says it takes more than just being an athlete to be champion. You have to have like good mental focus and blah blah blah, and that's cool, I guess. Next, we get... This is the thing that I was staring at my screen. I'm like trying to type and whatnot. Next, we get Byron Saxton's apparently just waiting backstage and the Divas just share one locker room. I guess I knew that, but you don't ever think about it. Byron Saxton's waiting outside to talk to Paige, and then the Bellas come out with all her ring gear. Right? So they say she will probably have to wrestle the match naked, right? Of course, Paige comes running out with a towel and is screaming, where's my gear? Because apparently she's completely naked. They must have also stolen like her underwear and stuff too, I guess, because that's how they make it seem. Because she comes out with a towel. She didn't have to come out with a towel and they say she's gonna wrestle naked. But here's the and then of course she asks what's the other black girl's name in WWE? not Naomi, Cameron, to borrow some ring gear. And Cameron just acts like a heel and is staring in the mirror and does the little bye girl snap twist, throw my fake hair in your face stuff. And apparently the Rosebuds just magically appear, because they were not anywhere visible in the shot, even as like the camera pans over and it's like they literally just file into a spot where I was literally just looking, where Cameron was just standing. When the camera pans over the page and then back over, the Rosebuds are just there, as if to like, okay, WWE, come on now. They were literally just waiting behind the camera because they're facing the direction where the camera is coming from. So that means they didn't come up from the side. We would have seen them come up the hallway. That means they either been standing there just weirdly out of the shot, or that they came from behind the camera and then stood there, which is still weird because you don't see them. They just appear and are just standing there. And as soon as Paige acknowledges and the camera hits them, that's when they start doing the So anyway, Paige grabs one of them, and okay, mind you, okay, I get it. The one, where's Adam Rose? He's just dead. Whatever, I don't care as long as he's not feeding with the bunny. Mind you, I understand that the Rosebuds are all like eccentrically dressed people, but there was a girl dressed like a bee, there was one in a kimono, and then there was one in like a pink, what I can only describe in, and this is the one she picks, like Avril Lavigne's outfits from the Hello Kitty video that she did. She grabs that girl and puts that outfit on, which, okay, here's the thing. You would think she would grab the kimono or the chick with the pants or like some kind of combination of stuff to cover up the fact that her ring, but it was just her ring gear that was stolen. So she comes out to the ring and she's got on her like black underwear, black bra, and then this like American McGee's Alice, it mixed with bubblegum pop outfit on. By the way, she beats Summer Rae. She has a match with Summer Rae and she beats her easily. Well, not easily, and a match that was surprisingly long. And of course the bells come out and say how Paige is nothing, blah blah blah, and Paige says she's going to win the title no matter how she's dressed. The best thing she's going to be wearing is the Divas title. But here's the thing, if she was supposedly going to have to come down to the ring naked, where did her underwear just come from? Did she steal that chick's underwear? Because the Rosebuds look pretty grody. I'm just throwing that out there. I don't know, whatever. Moving on. So next we get Seth Rollins is coming out. He's as I keep it on my mic, he's got a promo. He's got a match with Nikki Nemeth, Dolph Ziggler. He's got a match with Nikki Nemeth from the Spirit Squad, and they cut a little back and forth promo. Seth Rollins basically says Dolph Ziggler's career is a joke, kind of like not really a shoot, but one of those things where like somebody backstage and creative actually becomes creative and has a little bit of real life dip into wrestling life. And they have a match, and almost immediately J&J Security gets thrown out by the ref. The match continues, and it's a pretty decent match, like they always put on. It's the same thing they've put on like 2-3 weeks in a row before. But eventually, Dolph gets the upper hand, and J&J Security come in and get Seth DQ'd by attacking Dolph. Start beating him down. They're gonna take him out, but he gets saved by Garbageman, Erick, Rowen, and Ryback. And I guess this is supposed to be setting up for them to feud in a triple threat, not triple threat, 6-man tag at Fastlane. But my question is, where the hell is Randy Orton? I mean, he should have been back already. He should be the one going up against Seth Rollins at Fastlane to give him something to do before Mania. Dolph, Garbageman, and freaking Ryback should not be anywhere near this guy, especially with J&J Security, because they're kind of just like a novelty act type of thing, just annoying little heels. But this could all be solved, and you could open up more matches to be done if you would just get, I don't know what's going on, Randy Orton, whatever. Chase will be really upset if he doesn't appear by, like, if he's not at Mania, Chase is going to be super upset, but whatever. Next, we get, Triple H comes out to talk about Sting, and they cut a promo about him. We see, like, a little flashback cut up promo from the past couple months, or, like, since November, and about how Sting returned, and, Triple H cut a promo. He Hold on a second. Sorry. He gets interrupted by Ric Flair. Ric Flair is like, hey man, I love you, I respect you, and he's like, don't even start giving me that nonsense about how good Sting is. He's like, I remember all the matches you had with Sting, and blah 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 blah, and they're going down memory lane. Ric Flair says, don't underestimate Sting. Someone asked me, back when, okay, sorry, looking at my screen right now, Darren Williams is there with some dude who I've never seen before. I really should watch NXT. He's got some good facial hair going nowadays, though, so that's cool. I don't know what he's been doing. I guess they're gonna face the Ascension. Yep, yeah, they're gonna face the Ascension. They don't even name the other guy. They only name Darren Young. Anyway, sorry. So he's basically Ric Flair saying that hey, somebody asked me what if Triple H, could beat Daniel Bryan. I said, or if Daniel Bryan could beat Triple H, I say hell no. Triple H will beat him in 5 minutes. 30 minutes later, you are losing, or you lost. Everyone knows that the worst enemy to wrestler is time off. And you're not a consistent wrestler anymore. You're out here in the suit all the time, and you're out of the ring. So, he tells him, he says, Flair, don't worry about me. I'm gonna beat Sting, or he's basically just gonna beat Sting up. They don't have a match. They just have like a confrontation or whatever. He's gonna beat Sting up. Ric Flair says, okay, man, I believe in you, but just let me not see you on your ass like I saw you last week, which apparently pisses Triple H off to no content. He shoves Ric Flair down. He gets in his face with a mic and says that if anybody other than his wife and his kids, no one gets in between him and WWE, and that anybody no matter who it is, even if it's Flair, while this is really happening right now, he's gonna beat their ass. And that's a thing. So that's cool. Triple H is looking to beat up. So next we get Darren Young and some jobber versus the Ascension. It was weird. I mean, Darren Young's got a little bit different of a new look. He hasn't been on TV in a while, so it was interesting to see. But then I immediately thought, I think he's going up against the Ascension, so this is going to be a problem. But whatever, as that noise gongs in my ear. But I'm like, whatever. But this jobber, I don't recognize him. If he's somebody from like NXT or something like that, or like a Indies guy, I'm not like too bonied up on those guys. I never had the time to go check them out, so I apologize ahead of time if he's not just quote some jobber. But to the best of my knowledge, he's just a jobber. And they have a match against the Ascension, and they flat out the match. I don't even think the match starts. They just start beating up Darren Young and this jobber, and they eventually get the jobber knocked out of the ring because, at least for this match, he is a jobber. And they start beating down Darren Young, who gets saved by Titus O'Neil. So apparently primetime players are back. That's cool, I guess. I don't have a problem with it. It's good. I mean, they're another set of black guys that are just going to be losing to white guys. So it's just like, and only in the mix when it calls for them to do, it's just like, it's cool, but not really, because it's not like they're going to do anything. But it's just like, what is bringing them back accomplish? Having over tag team, or like tag team people remember recently going up against the Ascension that you can job out because you really can't have them face the champs right now. And it's like they're not going to bring AW back. If they brought Abraham Washington back, that'd be amazing, but they're not going to do that. So really it's just kind of lackluster, and like, oh, that's a thing that happened, cool. And you kind of get the point, right? Like, unless they bring back Crime Time, I really don't care. I know that sounds kind of jacked up because you can't have two black guys who do a dance. Two tag teams with two black guys that do a dance, but with one big and one small. But geez, come on, bring back Crime Time, man. Stop it. JTG's still on contract there. That's ridiculous. Next, we get The Miz and BNB. Sorry, Bad News Barrett. The Miz and Bad News Barrett are backstage, and The Miz is asking Bad News Barrett basically to beat Miz down, or at least beat him in the match that they have next. And in exchange, he won't let Dean Ambrose get near him. Something I forgot to mention earlier, Dean Ambrose is running around with the this contract that he says he's gonna force. I don't know if I mentioned it earlier. He's gonna make Bad News Barrett sign this contract for the Intercontinental title match at Fastlane. So basically, the Miz goes, if you beat Mizdow, then I'll make sure that Dean Ambrose doesn't get anywhere near you with that IC title contract. Apparently, you can just walk around with a contract and make people sign it. That's a thing now, but whatever. Next, we get Bad News Bear versus the Mizdow, of course. The match is going decent. Part of this, I mean, I guess you could. It's a good chance to boost two feuds, so that's kind of cool. But Mizdow, of course, is actually getting the upper hand on Bad News Bear, which kind of makes the Bad News Bear character look weak. But that's neither here nor there. Whatever. But he eventually, Miz distracts Mizdow by, telling him, you're my secretary, come clean my glasses, or something like that. Yeah, he has a spot in his glasses. But this is only distraction. Turns around, Mizdow eats a bullhammer elbow. Freaking Bad News Bear wins. But as soon as he wins, immediately, sorry, my lip itched. Freaking, what's that boy's name? Dean Ambrose comes out, and the Miz runs. He just runs like a girl too. Like if you'd seen the run, it was out of control. And he ties Bad News Bear to the ring post and takes his hand and signs the letters. The reason I said B and B early because it's still fresh in my mind. He signs the letters B and B to the contract, and this is why I call him the Idiot Fringe, because apparently Dean Ambrose doesn't understand how contracts work. This isn't why I call him the Idiot Fringe. Why I call him the Idiot Fringe is because his character's supposed to just be crazy and irrational, but he's just an idiot. So he signs B and B. Apparently that just is. I understand that, like, it's it's wrestling and that it's not real and blah blah blah, and that you could just, I mean, if you're a wrestler, you could just sign a contract B and B. But for God's sake, I mean, they're even saying it on the commentary table, like, even Booker T's like, was it under duress? Was it under duress? And it's like, oh, excuse me, that doing the freaking Booker T voice hurts my throat. And Michael Cole's saying, who cares? And JBL's like, that's illegal. And it's like, it is super illegal. Bad News Barrett is yelling how it's illegal, because it is super illegal. You can't just take someone's hand and force them. You can't tie them to something and then make them sign a contract. Even if he physically signed it on his own free will, even if he physically signed it in exchange for being let go, it's still under duress. So the fact that Dean Ambrose can just take his hand and make him sign the letters B and B, not even Bad News Bear, but the letters B and B, and it just be a legally binding contract, is really idiotic. I.e., the Idiot Fringe doesn't know how TVs work, because he thinks if you pull them while the cords are still plugged in to go hit somebody with it, it'll just hurt them and not explode in your face. The Idiot Fringe thinks that you can just get title matches despite the fact that you've been losing for weeks on end. Months on end. And the Idiot Fringe believes that you can just take the contract, tie someone up, take their hand on camera, force them to sign their initials of their stage name to the contract, and that means you have a legitimate title match. And of course, because it's WWE, he's just a lunatic. It's okay, it's legally binding, totally cool. Contracts don't mean diddly. That right there will make every single other contract signing that happens in WWE, like whenever I see they have that big contract signing that they have at every single major match, I want to see that person grab the other person's hand and make them sign it, because that means that those segments don't matter. They don't need to happen anymore. So just think about that for a minute, WWE. You have the Idiot Fringe tie up Bad News Bear, make him sign his initials, make him physically grab his hand to sign his initials, and then you want to have contract signings later? It can't work like that. We're not dumb. We understand what's going on. Try again. Sorry, I'm just kind of cutting out the parts that are, I hate that noise in the background. Sorry, that's my toilet. That's followed up, the Idiot Fringe not knowing how contracts work is followed up by even more idiots. We get Tyson and Natty Neidhart versus Jimmy and Naomi Uso, and basically, like, Tyson's a coward and doesn't want to fight Jimmy. After, like, 2 weeks ago, they were supposedly had a dinner together, and Tyson gets mad, or he starts bad mouthing Natty. Naomi gets in his face and confronts him about it. Jimmy calls him ignorant. He flips the table on Jimmy, and Cesaro hits him in the head and knocks him out, apparently. And Natty gets mad at Naomi instead of getting mad at Tyson. Um, basically, this match is the result of, and Naomi beats Natty with a roll up because Tyson is afraid of Jimmy and doesn't want to fight him because Tyson Kidd's apparently a huge coward and a jerk. Um, and then so Natty gets pinned in a roll up, and Tyson acts like a jerk. He starts mimicking. He's like, she tries to go for the sharpshooter and then winds up getting pinned. And he goes, it's a sharpshooter, it's basic, blah, blah, blah. And then Natty just acts really dumb and is like, oh, you're my husband of like a decade, so I guess I love you in junk. And it's like, here's the thing about this gimmick. Don't get me wrong, I'm really glad that Tyson Kidd and Cesaro are, one, in a title picture, two, on TV, and three, actually being utilized effectively. Well, kind of semi-effectively, but Cesaro really takes a backseat to this. Two, it's more of a feud for Total Divas, and three, it's really annoying to constantly watch. Like, the way it's booked, basically how it goes is that Tyson is a jerk and Natty's an idiot. The fact that they will book Natty Neidhart to be just an idiot who, like, a dumb teenage girl. She's been with him for so long, she's got nowhere else to go. But it's like, Natty's not ugly. Cesaro's also staying there. She could just, like, in theory, if you go storyline wise, okay, I get it. That she, like, her friends are constantly telling her, like, oh, it's a bad relationship to get out of it. I get this, like, story arc. But it's really dumb because it's not like she can't do better than Tyson Kidd. Yes, she's been with him forever, but he's just some mid-card dude. Like, she could definitely grab herself a main event guy because it's Natty Neidhart. She's in her 30s and she's still freaking hot. So it doesn't make any sense. And then, like, first it was just him being a jerk and her kind of being accepting of it because they've been together for long. But now it just makes it because she's going around blaming her friends. And it's like a weird verbally abusive relationship story arc, and it's weird. I get it, and I like the fact that it gets Natty and technically Cesaro and Tyson on TV, but it's just like really annoying to watch. And like the Tyson Kidd character isn't like a heel. I want Tyson to be on screen and want him to win, but his character is so annoying and they make Natty so dumb that I don't want them to win. I just want them to win because Cesaro is attached to them. So I really only want them to win the tag titles at Fastlane because Cesaro would get a tag title. That's really it. Like, I have no interest in Tyson Kidd and Natty Neidhart's story, and I will probably never watch Total Divas. So like this arc is just really annoying. Just being quite frank about it, because it's just like Natty's an idiot, Tyson's a jerk, and Cesaro is there. The whole thing is just like it's mostly this Total Divas feud. Like the Jey Uso and freaking Cesaro have had nothing to do with anything. Like Jey Uso is part of the Usos, and he has nothing to do with what's going on with them or like winning the tag titles. Jimmy's the one all in the spotlight because he's married to one of the Total Divas. But it's like, what about Jey? He's not like the worst or anything like that, but they only promote Jimmy. They're both just about even. So what's the deal? They're twins. They're twins. Cesaro is just as equally as talented in terms of power as Tyson is with speed and athleticism. So and Cesaro's also athletic, but for power. And Tyson just gets speed and acrobatics and things like that. So why is Cesaro taking a backseat to this Total Divas feud? If this was just a tag title feud, if this isn't about the tag titles, it's about Total Divas. The tag titles just happen to be involved. It feels like they gave the Usos the tag titles only to have them involved in feuds with guys who are on Total Divas. And that's it. Because other than that, then they're just there to lose to the Ascension. But the Ascension aren't over, and they more than likely never will be over. So the Usos just going to be holding the titles forever for no reason. Now, if they give them to Tyson and Cesaro, it's like, okay, well, that's cool. But you're gonna keep pushing the Total Diva stuff. Does that mean anything for Natty? Of course, it doesn't mean anything for Natty because it's Natty Neidhart and they hate her. Yeah, at the same time, like her, and they have her lose to Charlotte Flair in like 5 minutes when they actually have two divas that could put on a good match. They have her lose in Canada. That's pretty like. Whatever. I'm really sick of this kind of like this Total Divas feuding when it could just be a really decent feud. But whatever. So finally, we get Daniel Bryan versus The Big Show with Roman Reigns on commentary this time around. Roman Reigns outside the ring, signing autographs, taking selfies, and trying to do all the getting into Daniel Bryan's head that Daniel Bryan did to him earlier. And I don't care, and it doesn't even look like Daniel Bryan cares. In fact, it really feels like he doesn't. Roman and Bryan have a little bit of a confrontation. The match is just a basic Big Show versus Daniel Bryan match. It's nothing special, nothing to write home about. But Roman and Daniel Bryan eventually have like a little confrontation outside the ring because Big Show basically pushes Bryan into Roman. And while he's standing there distracted talking to Daniel Bryan and spouting garbage, Daniel Bryan ducks past or dodges a spear, which Roman Reigns eats the spear. And is taken out, and Daniel Bryan gets back in the ring. He starts building a little momentum against the Big Show. Excuse me. Eventually gets to the top rope to go for a missile drop kick and is interrupted. Like while standing on the top rope, Roman Reigns comes in, hits Big Show with a Superman punch and knocks him out. Gets him up out of the ring. Daniel Bryan's mad. Hits I say missile drop kick. Roman Reigns comes in the ring and hits Big Show with a Superman punch. While Daniel Bryan is waiting on the corner, he sees that, gets mad, hits Roman Reigns with a missile dropkick. Roman Reigns gets back in the ring. They brawl really quick. Roman throws him out of the ring. Daniel Bryan gets back in the ring. They brawl. They brawl and brawl and brawl. Refs eventually break it up. They come through, or they get back in the ring. They shake hands. Nope. We ain't no friend. They're all Drake, no new friends. And they start brawling again. They just beat each other up. And by the way, Roman Reigns, he must have like gingivitis or something, or just like weak lip or something, because every time that dude takes one shot to the mouth, immediately he's been like, I don't know, maybe it was an accident, like he just keeps accidentally, it's just a thing, but it would seem like every time he gets hit in the mouth, or maybe he does the pill thing, because his mouth is constantly full of blood. I don't know what that is. He might just have some weak gums or something like that. I don't know. Somebody explain that to me, why Roman Reigns' mouth is always bleeding. Anyway, they brawl it out. Daniel Bryan. After Roman gets Bryan DQ'd, and they just brawl it until eventually the refs break it up. I'm assuming this is partially because of the blood in Roman's mouth. Eventually, like dudes in suits, kind of like J&J security looking dudes, who usually like hide in the crowd by the thing to make sure people don't hop over the thing and get into the matches and whatnot. Come on, they grab these guys and they separate them. It's a big brawl, kind of Cena versus Brock the first or the second time, first time, yeah, the 2012 match. Kind of Cena versus Brock-esque. Like they come in, they had to separate them with guys like you hardly ever see. They're like, oh, you gotta separate them because Roman's mouth or whatever, but. Nevertheless, even though I didn't review Raw last week, I gotta say, this particular episode of Raw seems like a rehashing, of last week. It's becoming just like, everything is like, it's like WWE constantly has the freaking like SmackDown vs. Raw 2008. You want to win GM of the year, you keep your card on rerun with the same matches over and over again. It's just kind of like that. Like everything seems to be just, and I understand that it's building, but they're building towards Mania with Fastlane coming. The only match that's being built for Fastlane is Daniel Bryan versus Roman Reigns, but even that has an end result that's being built upon for Mania. So like everything is, if this year they wanted to play it, I guess they wanted to play it safe and not have Elimination Chamber. Maybe they couldn't. Maybe it wasn't as cost effective. I don't know what the reasoning for is. I didn't look it up or anything like that. I'm gonna assume it's like cost effectiveness, but they didn't have Elimination, or they're not having Elimination Chamber this year. I don't know if they're having it next year. And it feels like this Fastlane pay-per-view really doesn't matter. And usually the pay-per-view right before Mania has been in the past, like Armageddon or No Mercy, or sorry, not No Mercy, No Way Out, and or the Elimination Chamber, and it's like kind of matter because there's a big match going on to help sort the details out at Mania. But this doesn't. It seems like all the details are going to just get sorted out later. So Raw is just a jumbled, confused mess. It's part rerun, part new nonsense. Basically, it's they add stuff new, but then they rehash old stuff that like no one cares about, and the stuff that they add that's new is not really interesting. The segment with Triple H and Ric Flair was cool, but it kind of ran a little bit long, like every Triple H promo does, because it's Triple H and he's got to, bury the mic or something. I don't know. And the Cena stuff the Cena stuff in the beginning, Cena looks like a huge bully. The stuff with Paige and Nikki Bella is irritating because I don't think no, there is gonna never be a conclusion to the Nikki Bella says I wish Brie died in the womb bit. D-Bry versus Roman Reigns seems to be the only thing that's being built upon. Everything else is just like rehashed from weeks and weeks and weeks ago. And if it's new stuff with the idiot fringe, not understanding how things work. It's just like every single week it's the same stuff, and everything they add new makes less and less sense. And they only have so far one match that's gonna be making any sense. This is the go home show before Fastlane, people. Here's the thing: I constantly always forget that this is a go home. These are go home shows. That the pay-per-views are coming up. I don't know what WWE's gonna do for Mania. All I know is that they better do it quick, and it better be good. Oh, they also built upon what was going on the entire night was Bray Wyatt promos for him versus The Undertaker. But apparently, The Undertaker signed with New Japan Pro Wrestling. That's really stupid, people. Why would you even have Bray Wyatt doing this if The Undertaker had signed with New Japan Pro Wrestling? Also, why would The Undertaker sign with New Japan Pro Wrestling? If you actually believe that, you're an idiot. If he actually signed with New Japan Pro Wrestling, WWE's a bunch of idiots and he's an idiot. But I doubt that that happened. Don't get me wrong, WWE is still a bunch of idiots, but I don't think freaking Undertaker is. So whatever. Raw is just a rerun. It's been on rerun. It's a rerun. If you saw last week, you saw this week minus a brawl. That's pretty much it. Minus a brawl and the idiot fringe not understanding how contracts work. Other than that, you saw this all last week. And that's that. I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.